So I'm out here trying to get some of these honey supers painted up, but the weather has, again, other ideas. But the great thing is, all of this week, the forecast is really good, I have to admit. So I'm quietly optimistic that we're going to have good weather. We're giving like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday up to 18 degrees C, which is fantastic. So what I'm going to do is these honey supers that I'm painting up now, I'm giving them a dead quick coat of this. I use Ronseal 5-star treatment. It's a paint from the UK. It's like a wood stain, we call it. And literally I'm only painting the sides. I'll show you in a minute when the rain stops. I just started painting here, and what happens is it started raining, so I just grabbed some cardboard and stuck them on top. I didn't want to have to move them. That'll just keep them dry. It's only a light shower, but you know, and you just go, oh, for goodness sake, give it a rest. It's never ending, this weather, but I just want to get ahead. So as I was saying, these honey supers that I'm putting together, I'll fill them with frames like that one underneath I showed you last week, and they're going to go out as I go around each apiary, and I'm going to use them all up. It only take a couple of apiaries to use them all up, but I'm just going to get them out of here, because obviously it's too early for us to be putting supers on. It's another 2 or 3 weeks yet, usually, until we actually get you know, a decent nectar flow running, because we put our supers on. We tend to put them on the second week of the oilseed rape, so it gives a really good flow straight in the supers, but it means we can balance up our colonies before and keep them as well controlled as we can until we get that right moment, and then we'll put the supers on. Then we know when the right time to pull it off is. So it gives us more time to extract, which is the key to stuff at the moment. So I'm actually in my bedroom, believe it or not. This end of the house is where I've got a little kind of miniature kind of insemination place where I do my insemination work when I do some. Okay, and I've got all the gear here, I've got pots of honey. It's like everything's packed, but the thing here is I've got all my frames stacked. This is a nice little end to the kind of end to the room here, where I just wedged a load of frames, so it means I've got all my frames in here. All the new ones I just put together really quickly, all ready to go. And most of these will probably be out within the next 2 weeks. So just concentrate on taking out old frames of honey and storing them until I make splits later on in the spring. But it's just so much to do. However, as I said, I'm hoping just to be able to crack on this week and get at least every apiary visited and get everything, you know, up to date and give it a check. Also doing work in apiaries like strimming and cutting back if there's anything necessary. But I'm going to take one apiary at a time, just work through it till it's done and then move on. Meanwhile, I can show you briefly that my plans for my honey extraction unit have gone in. So this is the document, the 2 documents that have gone in by email. My architect has done them. A lot of these documents in France, they're like, you only tick the boxes where you need to, but a lot of this is just bureaucracy, you know, and there's a lot of stuff not filled in because it doesn't even need to be filled in. But the long and the short is that's your main official actual document, and this is a copy of my plan. So this details what's going to be happening. This gives you the area so that people looking at the reference can see that this is my house here, basically. And it gives you an idea of where this will be the main honey unit. And it's a pretty basic plan, and with the plans I'm putting in, they don't really have to be the most in-depth plans when you're having an agricultural building. Okay, so these are just trees that have come up as a double print. But so we've had to show a septic tank here, which obviously drains out into a part line. That was what the test was for the other week. That's been done, and also we've had to show a soakaway. But overall, the building is pretty straightforward. That's what the shape of the building will be like. 5 meters height and 6.24 at the top of the gable end, or pignon, as they call it here. So that will give me a really nice height, and it means I can do 2.5 meters inside with the mezzanine. I'm going to put, this just explains all the project. This is the floor plan that I've given to a couple of people to get, hopefully, quotes to cast the slab. And this is the actual building. You've got the front, well, that's actually the north side. But that will be the main entrance to me, because I've got double sliding doors, but I've actually offset these doors to the right, because inside the building I'm going to have more space, like a big L shape that may well be converted to rooms to give me the option of that. And it means I can get my truck in here. Don't forget, this is actually 3 meters tall, that front door, that front entranceway. And it's nice and wide. It's 3 points, nearly 4 meters wide, the doors. So that will mean I can get most things in there with no problem at all. That's the southwest facing view that I'll see most of all, because that'll be facing outwards in the garden. And there's my extra door, and that's the rear view. Got no windows in the rear view. And that's a kind of a very rough image of what it'll look like, because I've got solar panels going to be going on the roof. More so initially going to be solar panels for hot water, because I want to be able to run the hot water when I need it. And most of the times I'll need hot water in the workshop is going to be in the spring and summer and the autumn, when the sun will be of the height. It'll give me plenty. In the winter I won't really need it, but it'll still warm it to 18, 20, maybe 24 degrees, so I'm told. And I still have hand washing stuff in the winter, so that's the whole idea. The last 2 pages are just pictures of what the buildings it is without the building. So you can see there, that's without. That's with. So it gives you a rough idea, but the actual building will be longer than that and wider than that. With this kind of building, it doesn't really matter as far as the architect's concerned, because the plans dictate and say the actual size it will be. It just gives an overall impression. So I don't know if you can hear that beautiful blackbird somewhere over there. One of the most beautiful sounds of spring. And it's a joy to just be able to work and hear that. So that shower's gone now. I'm just going to give you a quick show you of what I do when I'm painting. It's pretty simple stuff. But I've got this Ronseal 5-star treatment. I'm giving each super just the quickest of rub overs, because I'll do this twice, and that will be enough to keep these boxes. Don't forget, these boxes are good quality pine. They're nice and resinous. They're only going to be outside in the summer, and other than that they're going to be undercover. So I do believe in giving the wood a chance to kind of dry out and cure itself, and then the boxes will be properlised on the inside anyway. Obviously they do need some protection, but it's not really a major problem with that. I always find that if you look after your honey supers, they kind of look after you. They'll last 20, 30 years if you buy decent ones. So these are just going to get a quick lick of paint. You know, I haven't got the time. Well, this is all they really need. And even if I had more time, I wouldn't spend more time on them, because I've got only 50 extra to do here, but there'll be some at my workshop to do that will need repairs later in the year. But I'll hopefully have my building up by then. But all pretty exciting. Loads and loads to do. If I can get these shifted out this week and all the hives checked, I'll be very happy, because I'll then be up to date, and it'll give me a chance to get on with also some, as I said, some other apiary work. I've got one little couple of hedges to cut still, and I want to get that done, so I feel that I'm ongoing and getting things done. You know what it's like in beekeeping, you just got to try and keep going no matter what, and having like a week of good weather will be that massive bonus that will mean I get stuff done, and I will feel that we're making inroads into the preparation for the season, because that's what it's all about now. It's that early preparation, it's that early assessment of the colonies. I'm going to be doing some evening up of colonies in the really strong ones to try and avoid any early swarming. So that's got to be done, and that is the key to early swarm control, is getting those colonies just reduced down a bit if they're really strong now, because I don't really need them to be hugely strong at the moment. But the problem is a lot of the colonies aren't. A lot of them always get to this time of year where a lot of the other colonies are way down on where we want them to be. So we've got to use the strength of the fewer really strong ones to boost up the other ones, so you get an average strength. And that's one of the keys to it, is evening up. So lots to do, as I said last week, but just bashing on where I can. We've finally, this evening today, having some decent weather today has made a massive difference. So I'll be able to get the first 10 or 15 of these done today. They'll be dry and ready to go out tomorrow. And that's all you need to do, just a quick whiz over. If you want to paint them with an acrylic paint or something like that, go ahead, you know, spend a bit more time. But as far as I'm concerned, this is enough, because no matter what you do with boxes, if they're going to get worm, they're going to get it. I just find that no matter how much time you spend on them, unless you're going to dip them, which I'd love to do, and I might well be able to go down that road eventually, unless you can do that, you're going to get problems. Be it a bit of worm, a bit of dry rot here and there. They just, every now and again, you have to get rid of one or two, and you have to do that because otherwise you want to make sure that you don't get those infected. You don't want to get the dry rot ones near your good boxes, otherwise they will just contaminate the others. But anyway, enough of all this yapping, better get on here. I'll catch you again soon, and have a good week. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.